Everybody online wants a goth baddie. Hit like if you agree. Hit like if you agree with that, because what we're going to try to do this video is we are trying to get this goal. This is what we want. This is our end game here, and we are trying to avoid this one here. We want to be able to interact with somebody that is alternative or goth without getting scared or without having anything to sort of start a conversation with, okay? We're trying to avoid the one on the right, gang, because a lot of people online treat talking to women as it's like a video game, or like there's something you can trick the system. Oh my goodness, this one trick that will get you all the girls. It's ridiculous. It's actually insane. Treat people like human beings. That's all you need to do, and you'll be fine. Okay? Don't look up. Well, I guess this is a tutorial, I guess, but don't go down that manosphere route where it just makes you a worse person, and then that you need to sell you a course so that you get better. Dude, all you need to do is just treat people like humans. You can click off the video now, that's all you need to do. But if you want tips and sort of, let's go through it, okay? Think about when you're talking to your friends. Think about when you're talking to your friends, what do you talk about? If you said anything that's sort of like conversation, like you talk about video games that you like together. Oh, hey bro, I played this on the weekend, I liked it. Oh my goodness, I like that too. Then you have a conversation about that. What that is called common ground. What we are trying to do is we are trying to diversify your common ground so that you have more in common with the aesthetic that you desire. Okay? This is what I've made. I've made a Venn diagram here. You are this guy here. You can put whatever you want in that box there. Okay? You can put whatever you want in that box there. That is you. Put your likes, put your, interests, hobbies, blah, 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 blah. I've sort of just done a shotgun shell of probably my interests, if I'm being honest, so I'm assuming what my viewers would be interested in as well. And then on the right, we have average goth aesthetic, okay? There is a lot of stuff on the right that is sort of general. This is not there are different types of gothic people, obviously. Everyone is different. But these are sort of just the broad strokes of the gothic genre in general, without sort of getting into, pastel, traditional, blah, blah, blah. Without getting into specific niches, this is what it is. Okay? So we'll go through them. The gothic aesthetic, that's a very important one. People overlook that one. Gothicness as an aesthetic is something that people often overlook. Fascination with the supernatural, aesthetic and visual style, and a bunch of others that we can get into. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show you a little trick, just a little thing where you can create quite a few common interests with these broad strokes by learning one franchise, okay? And that franchise, obviously, if you've seen the video, if you've seen the title, is going to be Twilight. So, wait, whoops, where is it? Okay. Twilight is a good example because it has a bunch of similarities between Gothic culture and the actual movies itself. It's an introduction to the color palettes, which is lots of blacks, lots of darks, fashion elements, makeup, blah, 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 blah. It's also a huge, the undertones of the movie with sort of deep themes of melancholy and romanticism is a big underlying tone, which is sort of deeply rooted in Gothic culture, as well as fascination with the macabre and supernatural, okay? Stuff like vampires, werewolf, shapeshifters, immortality, and supernatural world. I wrote this whole document like in just a flurry, like over the past couple of hours, because I wanted to have supplementary material to show you. If you do need it, A link should be in the description below if you do want to read through it. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through it here. Also, a big theme is alienation. Alienation and the other, which is very, very interesting because it's sort of, that is one of the core beliefs of, I'm saying this like I know, I'm mansplaining Gothic culture. Do your own research. Do your own research. That's how you can get the best results. Don't listen to what I'm saying. But I'm just giving you an introduction, a jumping off point where you can go from here. Okay? Being an outsider, and sort of finding your family. Found family is a big theme in a lot of Gothic literature, where it's not necessarily the family you're born into, as you may feel like an outcast in that family. It's sort of the family that you find. And that's sort of, with a lot of Gothic literature, that is a very, very strong theme. Also, cultural tastes. So Gothic is quite an old aesthetic. It sort of goes back to the Victorian era. But yes, it's sort of a lot by showing an interest in Twilight, you get a jumping off point for a lot of these themes that go deeper into Gothic culture. If you are in this point of the video and you're like, hey, I just want a big titty goth baddie, you can click off now. If you're sort of not interested in the actual similarities and the history behind the culture as itself, you're not going to have a good time with somebody who is actually interested in the goth culture. You're sort of, by fetishizing it, it is taking away and dehumanizing something, and it's kind of just doing it for the meme is not really the right thing to do. But let's talk through, this is very, very important. This is very important, okay? We'll talk through the red flags and talking points to avoid, okay? Before you go into this, you need to make sure that if there's anything on this list, that you would commonly bring up, just don't. This is honestly common points for living life in general. Leave most of these conversation points out of the conversations you have with new people you're trying to meet. If you have any right-wing politics, leave it out. Anything pro-Trump, pro-Musk, leave it out of the conversation. If as soon as you bring up any of these points here, it's just going to be glaze over. There's not going to be any sort of interesting conversation coming from that. Start again. It's like a huge, I'm not going to say turn off, but it's just like, if you brought these up when you're trying to make new friends, especially in the Gothic scene, bad idea. Anything manosphere / anything Andrew Tate has ever said, this is with an asterisk, other than his pro-Palestine stance. That is the only take I have ever agreed with Andrew Tate on. Anything with that, anything sort of, your traditional values, the women should be carers as opposed to providers. What era are we living in, big dog? Be for real with me right now. Be for real. It's not the 60s anymore. Just wake up. Be a human being. Treat people like human beings. There is no cheat code to getting girls. It's just this is a narrative that you are being fed so that people lose money. So that you lose money, so that you pay for courses and blah, 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 blah. It's a whole thing. Goth fetishism is a big thing. I already touched on it before. This is a big, big point. No one, I want you to read this. No one is goth just so that you can goon. Okay? It is dehumanizing and objectifying. This is just a fact. It is an aesthetic first. Okay? It's not there. There is a lot of the time A lot of the time it will be they won't be dressing for the male gaze, or just so that you can go up and go, oh, dude, you are hot. Like, it's not that. It's not that. It is, if you want to talk about how someone appears, like, imagine, okay, this is how you could do it, okay? You see someone from across the room, they very clearly are wearing, a goth outfit, sort of big boots, chains, blah, 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 blah. You can go over and talk to them and be like, oh my goodness, I love your makeup. It looks great on you, that sort of thing. You can do that. Your outfit is so cool. Whoa, it looks really cool. I love the chains. I love the accessories you've got, blah, 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 blah. You can do that. That's fine. What you can't do is be like, oh, goths are so hot. Dude. It's raps, bro. You can bring up aesthetic in a meaningful and thoughtful way, being like, oh, I appreciate the work that you have put into your outfit. That is fine. That's fine. Just don't be like, oh my god, I only watch goth porn. Like, it's just like, be real, bro. Be real. Okay. Only bring up freaky stuff if they engage in it first. Okay? A lot of people say that, I think a lot of the appeal from what I've seen from at least comments online is that the goth aesthetic is like a big notification for I'm a freak. And it's not always that. Sometimes it can be a benefit to being with someone that is goth, but it's not the whole thing. If they bring up freaky stuff, then you can talk about it. That is your sort of green light to be able to talk about that. Otherwise, don't bring it up. Don't talk about it. You'll just be seen as a weird, horny person that is only in it for that sort of thing. Okay? Use your brain. Treat people like humans. That's how you make friends. Okay? And this one goes without saying. This is this is just rules for everything. Don't be racist. Don't be sexist. Don't be anti-LGBTQ. Don't be ableist. Just don't be a dick, really. Gothic culture has its roots in alienation and being an outsider, and therefore they don't want others to be alienated. That makes sense. I feel like if you avoid a lot of these red flags, you can have a conversation without an immediate wall being put up. There's obviously a lot more, and leave them in the comments below. I also wanted to say, I meant to say this at the start. The Lego Twilight Cullen set, this one here, it has a little reference, it has a little Easter egg in it, okay? In this, it has, 2001 pieces. Leave a comment below. It has 2001 pieces. That's a little Easter egg for later. Let's see if anybody in the comments can actually guess it. If you can guess it, I will be very, very impressed. Okay? Now, let's move on to... We've already talked about why Twilight has a lot of common points to the Gothic aesthetic. So let's move on to good talking points. If you see someone that is, Gothic, if you see someone that's goth, you can go over to them, talk to them. Honestly, primary school stuff works well, okay? You can start a conversation like you're a 10-year-old and it'll work fine. The thing is, notice how a lot of these starting points, a lot of these talking points are questions. Do you know why that is? Because everyone likes talking about themselves. Somebody goes up, hey, what are you interested in? Oh, you care about what I'm interested in. Let's talk about that. And then you take a second to talk about what you like, and you can address, hey, I actually like similar movies to you. I actually like video games. I actually like blah, 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 blah. That's how you have a conversation like a regular person, okay? If you start asking people questions about themselves, it shows that you are interested in their interests. And then, by then, you can pick and choose what interests you can steer the conversation in. So, oh, you like anime. I just finished watching Attack on Titan. I thought that show was great. Have you seen that show? It's a good way to start the conversation. Music as well is a good point. The one thing I will be wary of is choose things that you think will be more likely that you have in common. Okay? If you watch movies that are sort of, dark or horror movies or gothic style movies, maybe start with what movies are you interested in? Or maybe start with, if you like a lot of, punk/rock kind of music, maybe if you like metal or anything like that, maybe suggest what music do you like? What sort of interests do you have that they are most likely to have similar interest in? Okay, this is primary school stuff. If this is news to you, I'm very sorry that nobody has told you this stuff already. It is so easy. It's stuff that I used all through university to make friends. Very, very easy. Okay? Now, this is the stuff. Unfortunately, I won't be able to just brain blast all of Twilight into your head. You are going to have to do some research. I could do a video another time if people are interested in this. This is the homework / required reading of the section of the video. Okay? If you want to be able to relate to people on Twilight, you are going to have to watch the movies. Okay? That is your A+ standard. If you watch all the movies, don't listen to what other people have to say about it. Just watch it, form your own opinions on it. That is an organic, completely unique take to you. This is if you watch the movies, you will have a unique version of it that you can draw your own opinions on. Now, it is 10 hours. It is 10 hours of movie watching, which is ridiculous. Okay? That is a lot to put on a gamble. If you just want to see what it's like, I would recommend there is on YouTube, you can watch a complete Twilight timeline in 4 minutes and 36 seconds. This will give you the broad strokes of the series. It will also give you a nice jumping off point for the second thing that you need to watch. Okay, so 5 minutes will give you the breakdown of the story. Then what I would recommend is watching the Cosmonaut Variety Hours videos on Twilight. Now this is good because now that you know the story of Twilight, you can go through, and in this video it's 2 people watching it, one male and one female, and you can see what their opinions are on these movies. So you can see what they are liking, what they are disliking, and a lot of funny points in this series are brought up in this. So by just watching these, I think the whole series will be about 2 hours. So that's 20% of the time. That is 5 times quicker than the other one. It obviously won't give you as much information as actually watching them, but it is a good jumping off point if you are trying to speed run or cram, or let's say you have a date with a goth baddie tomorrow. If you are cramming and you don't have 10 hours to put on watching the movies, 2 hours is fine. It's good. And also these videos by Cosmonaut Variety Hour are very, very interesting. They are very, very good. Okay. Now, important ones. This, we touched on this before. Important conversation pieces / starters, okay? So these are good conversation jumping off points as somebody who has a girlfriend that is a big fan of Twilight. Let's go through these and see. I'll give you some ball knowledge. I'll give you some conversation pieces that you will be able to talk about. As well, You're asking them questions, listen to their responses. This is a conversation, not an interview, okay? After you have, this is important, okay? After introduction has been established and a common interest of Twilight has been reached, if they haven't seen Twilight, don't talk about this, okay? You need the prerequisite of being interested in Twilight, okay? Let's start. Okay, so the most basic, easy conversation is, oh, you like Twilight? Are you Team Edward or Jacob? This was a huge conversation at the time. It is because the whole point of the series is it's a dark romance love triangle where there is your self-insert character, which is Bella, who's the primary character. Then you've got her two love interests, which is Edward, who is a vampire. He's played by Robert Pattinson. He is protective. He is brooding, Batman, and a vampire. Those are probably just by those three words, you kind of get an idea. He is a vampire. He is a sort of traditional man. He doesn't want to have sex until marriage. He is sort of, your old school. He's literally hundreds of years old, okay? Oh, sorry, he's 100 years old. And then Jacob is his foil, so he's the other end of the other corner of the love triangle. He is sort of protective. He is shredded in these movies. He's also a werewolf, so a lot of the furry community likes him. And then, so those are your two answers. And if you made your decision on what you like, Jacob or Edward, that's fine. If you want to show them that you know ball on this one, you can choose two other options as well. You can choose Team Alice, which is the correct answer. Alice is the best character in the show. Alice is the best character in the show. This is Alice here in the show, in the movies. This is Alice here. She's awesome. Almost everyone will agree with you if you choose Team Alice. I guarantee you this is the right one. Otherwise, this is my girlfriend's opinion on the argument. She is not pro anything. She is just anti-Bella. This is a controversial opinion. She just hates Bella as a character, but likes everyone else in the show, in the movies, which is very, very interesting. And I thought that was a really good answer because I'd never heard of it before. So it's possible that they have never heard of it either. Okay. Now, with an asterisk with Jacob, if you choose Team Jacob, you are going to have to... There is something about his character, and I really didn't want to get into this, but in the later movies, he falls in love with Edward and Bella's kid, which is really, really weird. So if you choose Team Jacob, you're either going to have to say, I was Team Jacob at the start until he started getting weird, or you have to explain why you think that it's okay that Jacob fell in love with a literal infant. So that's just preparing you for battles that you may take up. Edward is the safer choice. And you can use those defenses as a talking point. Okay, this is all true, by the way. I'm not making any of this up. Okay. This is an important thing, and something that I noticed when doing research for this video. A lot of male YouTubers, when talking about Twilight, treat it as, get a load of this. This stuff, it's so bad. The acting is so bad. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. It's a bad movie. Yeah, we know. It's like the Star Wars prequels. Like, they're bad, but you're allowed to like them. The pacing is whack, it drags. The acting from Bella is really inconsistent. Oh my goodness. It is really, it's not great at times. And people like that about it. It's like in a video game when there's like a clunky thing or like a really bad bit of dialogue. It doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it. It's bad, but it's not gonna, ruin your experience. And a lot of people remember them fondly. Like, a lot of the lines, the iconic lines from these series are bad lines, but they're fun, and it's fun and nostalgic, and you're allowed to like it. Same thing with the Star Wars prequels. Like, a lot of them are bad. This is This is my take on the Star Wars prequels. They're bad, but people like them. I don't think anybody who's being honest about the Star Wars prequels is going to say that they are a perfect masterpiece. That's the same thing with Twilight. Cool bits of the series. If somebody asks you what is a bit of the series that you like, you can say the fight in the movies, the final fake out fight. For context, in the books, the ending of the series is kind of just a fizzle out. So there is no final confrontation and big fight. In the movie, this is not true. In the movie, there is a final fight scene where people start, characters that you have watched for 10 hours get their heads ripped off. It's crazy. It's actually insane. This is really ridiculous stuff. And then it turns out to be a fake out, but it's actually really cool. It's a cool bit of the movie that I actually really liked. The occult lore in the first movie is really interesting. They explore a lot of stuff. It's sort of, in the later ones, it kind of gets a little bit crazy, with other characters being introduced as super vampires, just vampires that are X-Men. But it is very interesting. And in the first movie, it's really good. Also, the soundtrack as well is a standout. Rami Malek as well is the Avatar. This was a important one for me because I've never heard anyone talk about this, but Rami Malek, you know the guy that's in Until Dawn? Let me see. This guy here, in the movie, he has elemental powers. Actually, he's the Avatar. It's ridiculous. And he's not used. He literally does it for 2 seconds and then that's it. It's so weird. It's so weird. In the last movie, he's introduced as the Avatar, and they never do anything with it. Okay. Now we're moving on to a little bit more ball knowledge. This is to the point where if you're talking to someone, if you're talking to a goth baddie about this, they're going to be like, oh, bro kind of does know what he's talking about. Bro is spitting over here. Okay. Robert Pattinson hated working on the movies. This is probably more common knowledge, if I'm being honest with you. This can go up here. But, oh my god. Come on, bro. Lock in. Right, yeah, that's fine. Okay. It's fine. He really didn't enjoy the movies. So much so that in interviews, he was outwardly saying, everyone was it's so sad that Twilight's ending. And he's maybe for them, for me it's not. I don't care. It's really, really funny watching those interviews. Okay. Also in the third movie, there is a weirdly pro-life stance. Oh wait, no, it's the fourth movie. Fourth and fifth movie, there's a pro-life stance, which is so strange to have in this vampire romance movie. Bella gets pregnant and it's weird. You have to watch it. Either watch the movies and form your own opinion, or just watch the YouTube videos that I recommended. It is an interesting debate, and no matter what you choose on this, there's going to be an interesting debate that comes out of it. I would recommend whatever the person you're talking about agrees with, probably choose that, because they would probably know the answer better than you would. Other thing, the soundtrack is goated, but not goth. This is important. If you watch the movies, it's a goated soundtrack, but it is not goth music. It's alt rock. It's pop music. It's really good. And if they ask you what your favorite song is, go Supermassive Black Hole by Muse. It's the song that plays at the baseball scene, and it's the best song in the movie. This is just true. It is the best song. Also, this is sort of linking your common interest as well. Taylor Lautner, so this is Jacob the werewolf, was only 16 when they filmed Twilight 1, which is weird. It was only 3 years after they filmed Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Okay? That's really that's really weird because they thirst on him a lot in the first 2 movies, and he is 16 and 17 then, which is really weird. It's really weird when you notice that. And even in Eclipse, it's like he's like 17 or 18. It's so strange. It's so strange. Okay, this is extreme ball knowledge version. This is extreme ball knowledge. If you are here, you'll be able to, this is deep into the conversation, okay? You don't drop these immediately. These are your trump cards. These are the things you save till later, because after this, there's sort of nowhere to really talk about, but you can move on to your other interests from here, okay? Freaky animatronic Renesmee. Okay, so this is the baby in Twilight. They name the baby that Bella gives birth to. Her name is Renesmee. Originally, in the movie, they called it Chuck Esme because the animatronic, it was like 20 kilos. It was the heaviest thing ever. It was ridiculous and it was ugly as hell. This is the animatronic that they used because they didn't want to get a real baby that was sort of, an actual baby. Then they CGI'd over that to give CGI baby, and it's really, really uncanny. Initially, they did have an actual baby on set, which is like, this is a normal, just use this. Just use this instead of CG or Robo Baby. It's ridiculous. It looks so stupid. The animatronic baby. I don't want to know. This probably costs like $500,000 to make, this animatronic here. It's freaky. It's freaky. Watch videos of it moving around because it's like so uncanny. It's actually terrifying. And the CGI baby is not much better. Then yeah, you've got your real baby. This is the biggest trump card, okay? Because this is something that you can drop that it will probably just by saying it be funny, but they will probably know what you're talking about. 9/11 to 50 Shades of Grey pipeline. Okay, this is when the YouTuber talks about 9/11. The September 11th tragedy actually inspired a lot of points that caused Twilight to come into production. Okay, weirdly enough, the butterfly effect that happened from this is responsible for the creation of Twilight as we know it. Okay, let's walk with me. Okay, so step 1, on September 11th, Gerard Way, who is now the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, he saw the tower attacks. Okay, he was working at Cartoon Network as an intern at the time. He was working at Cartoon Network, and he decided that he was unfulfilled. Here we go. I'll read this. Heavily influenced by witnessing the September 11th terrorist attacks in New York, witnessing the tragedy led him to question his life's purpose and his unfulfilling job at Cartoon Network. So, he decided, hey, I've just seen probably the scariest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is terrifying. Let me change my life. He created MCR, My Chemical Romance, and then that music directly inspired Stephanie Meyer she was listening to music when she was writing the characters. To quote, Stephanie Meyer heavily credited the music of Gerard's band, My Chemical Romance, as an inspiration while writing the books. She used their emotional music to help shape scenes and characters, particularly Jacob. Okay? Which means that without the original September 11th attacks, we wouldn't have had Twilight as it is, and then Twilight inspired 50 Shades of Grey. The novel 50 Shades of Grey was written as Twilight fan fiction, okay? Which is so on and so forth. Anything that's inspired by 50 Shades of Grey, which is a lot of the sort of the Wattpad fan fiction genre, that is technically the first domino to fall was September 11th. That's a horrible analogy, dominoes falling, but it does link back to the thing that I said at the start of the video, which is why this Lego set having 2001 pieces is a reference, and I will not hear any other words on it. Let me know how this, I've been yabbering on for a little bit. Let me know if you want me to make any more videos on this. I'm thinking of making a series about how to talk to people, because a lot of people don't know how to do it if it's not online. Other than that, I hope you have a lovely day. If you have any questions or corrections, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody!